Good morning and welcome to Namaste today, an inspiring way to begin your day. I'm your heartfelt host and sensei to some serious joy, Christopher Witecki. This audio blogcast is for Tuesday, April 11th, 2017. Happy full moon to you. Namaste. Today, step 22 rules the day, and it's really the perfect degree following a full moon. We actually had a full moon apex early this morning here in the United States. But today, I argue, you will feel the full effects of it. In today's Zodiac Weather, I'll talk about the planets and what step 22 means for you. Then later in our tea time, considering we're talking about step 22, I thought I'd talk about the concept of painting with emotion. But first, let's take a look at today's moods and your Zodiac Weather. This Zodiac Weather is for Tuesday, April 11th, 2017. Sunny and quantum is my prediction today for all of planet Earth. The moon is still full and climaxing in Libra. And today, step 22 means you're now levitating to where you belong. Let's take a look at the planets. Well, my friend and earthly neighbor, today may be a little quantum, a little strange, a little alien feeling, because I argue we're going through quantum shifting today. That's a dimensional shift. That means something you were feeling or a certain dimension or way of looking at things will shift. And of course, you'll be standing still while the holy shift happens. So it can be somewhat unsettling. Since the moon is in Libra, that means the emotions we are feeling are very sensitive, very delicate. It's easy to tip our scale today. And so the first word of advice I have for you is self-nurture, especially in a step 22 day. Step 22 is my feelings bouncing off of more feelings. And those other feelings could be feelings for someone else, feelings about something else inside of you, something that happens in your world that generates feelings. And so emotions are bouncing off of emotions, and what they're looking for is their like and law of attraction. So today it's kind of one of two things. Either your emotions are absolutely not attracted to something, almost electric, almost disgusted, or your emotions will be absolutely attracted to something. And no matter what it's attracted to, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. You might be absolutely attracted to some sort of fight online, or absolutely attracted to some sort of movie that just makes you feel bad. So even though you're attracted doesn't mean it's what's best for your heart. And that's what lies, or there lies, the emotional shift. That's the holy shift. That's the dimensional shift. So Sensei says it's likely that in the drama and play out of today, your emotions will reach some sort of climax, even though we technically climaxed yesterday before we went to bed, and the moon went full while we were sleeping. It's playing out, I believe, during the day, and so there'll be this point where your emotions will be very flamboyant about something, let's put it that way, and they will either attract something that's a like or attract something that's a not like. And those are the two ways we actually decipher where we belong. Either we don't belong here or we do. Now, adding a lot of gravity to the whole quantum shift is Uranus himself, which is the grandpappy of quantum shift. Quantum step 22 adds to a 4. Uranus is the ruling planet of 4. And the sun conjuncting Uranus means today, really, this shift is just the actual turn. As soon as we are in the right direction, Uranus is going to almost like trampoline us like super high up, bounce us way out of the stratosphere. So really put on your helmets and wear your seatbelt. You are not returning home to where you have been. Now, adding even more to this quantum shift is our mind is kind of drunk and offline. Mercury is retrograde and has been retrograde for about 48 hours. And guess what? He's stationary at step 4. So the mind is sitting there ready to identify where it belongs. The mind is questioning where it belongs. All this questioning of do I belong or do I not belong actually creates a bit of anxiety. So just so you know, all this 4 energy will kind of make you a little nervous, kind of a hyper puppy. You might have to take yourself out for a walk or get on the treadmill or do whatever it is you do, your yoga, etc., to kind of just wring out the general tension. Now, Mars is the ruling planet of Aries. The sun is in Aries. What that means is all this shifting and whatnot is really a greater big picture change as far as our character and where we're pointing our story. We're just now finally at that intersection. But Mars today is at step 23 Taurus, which means that the holy shift you experience in the next 24 hours, where you feel you do or don't belong to a certain camp, and therefore you do or don't belong to another camp, that shift is going to help you see the big picture. The big picture of what you are manifesting, Mars in Taurus. And Mercury, which is retrograde, is actually in Taurus. So what you're technically going to think differently about is thinking that you belong manifesting maybe something different or something than you had originally thought of. Let's not also forget that Venus is retrograde. And at step 27, Pisces, 27 adds to a 9, that's Aries again, which means that this retrograde is opening up and changing what our spiritual direction is. That 27 is what we're going to spiritually act on, what we will spiritually react on. So we are reconsidering our spiritual motives as we reinvent our personal character. And all this comes down really to feeling through the dimensional shift and what I argue as feeling what you are painting with your emotion. So that leads us to our next topic. Go steep yourself some tea, and let's have our daily tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is painting with emotion. Today, step 22 rules the day, and step 22 I have found is one of the most powerful degrees in all the zodiac. Step 2 is I feel. The second 2 is another I feel. And according to the 11 steps to serious joy, when feelings and feelings come together, they add to a new belonging, step 4. Step 22 reveals the power of emotion itself. That when emotion comes or is confronted by another emotion, both parts of those emotions will change, or when the feelings of one come into the feelings of another, both parties will change where they feel they belong. And so it's really emotion that organizes the world culture, and it is for that reason that I believe we paint our lives with our emotions. Now, according to our most modern, most civilized society, human beings communicate through words and language. We consider that the primary form of our communication. And we also include body language as an aspect to how we communicate. But I actually have to disagree with this idea, and that's me going off on a spiritual branch here. In understanding the human collective consciousness, in doing readings over 20 years, in knowing the 11 steps to serious joy, I believe that it is emotion in which we communicate first and foremost. Therefore, what you feel is what you reveal. I believe that our feelings are our energy in motion. That's what emotion is. And I believe that that emotional field is surrounding us at all times. And I believe that all humans pick up on this emotional field, whether they pay attention to it or not. So what you feel is absolutely what you reveal. And you may be hiding it from yourself, and you may think you are hiding it from others, but I think everything in conscious awareness is aware of how you feel. This is how human beings actually detect lying. A person can be saying one thing, but we feel something is off. We feel that their emotions are not lining up with their words. And this is human instinct to be doing this comparison, whether we're aware of it or not. I believe the entire system of humans, plants, and animals respond and hear our emotions. You know, I'm not a hunter myself, but I've heard stories of people who try to hunt game, and oftentimes they're trying to tiptoe up on whatever it is they're trying to shoot, and they're trying to not scare the animal with their noise. But I bet you the animals can feel the feelings of the hunters. I bet you the animals can feel that the hunters are out for vengeance, or the hunters are having malintent. I believe the animals feel this, and really, I guess, I don't even know, but I would imagine a good hunter is one that can really stuff down their feelings. Maybe you're familiar with the work of Masaru Emoto, who did some spiritual investigation with water and freezing water into crystals and then taking pictures of those crystals. And he had literally done experiments where he would take a glass of water and focus hate on the water, and take another glass of water and focus love consciousness on the water, and then he would freeze it, and the crystallization of the hate was gross to look at with the human eye, and the crystallization of the love was in beautiful sacred geometry. So it appears water itself is affected by our emotion, and I believe that's why water signs are the emotional signs of the zodiac. Plants are another example. I've done this myself. By actually speaking to a plant and sending it positive love energy and my feelings for the plant, I've seen my plants perk back up, come into bloom, and just really shine. Again, human beings say it's because we're talking to the plants, but I disagree. I believe it's because we're emoting to the plants. Many people don't know this, but I actually went to film school and trained to be a director, and it's something I do want to do at some time in my life. But I did kind of put together the field of actors and actresses with astrology. And I noticed right away that anyone with a lot of Cancer energy in their chart were better actors in my little performances I did, either on stage or in film. And I've gone on to observe in Hollywood how some of the most powerful actors and actresses are Cancers as well. Cancer is the emotional sign of the zodiac. I believe this is because emotion is the primary language of humans. Cancers live in their emotion naturally, and so as long as the actor or actress is feeling the emotion of that character on screen, I believe even across the screen, because this is a psychic truth of how consciousness is put together, even across the screen, we can feel that actor or actress. And truly, some of the greatest actors and actresses are Cancers. Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, Robin Williams, Meryl Streep, Liv Tyler, Kristen Bell, and it goes on and on. For actors that are other signs, I would argue they have strong Cancer in their chart, or they have understood and mastered the power of one's emotion. The good actor or actress knows how to literally paint with their emotions. And I believe it is emotion that paints music as well. When a singer and even the musicians are feeling the music, I argue we are feeling the musicians feeling the music. And you can actually see this with some famous Cancer singers and songwriters, such as George Michael was a Cancer, Beck is a Cancer, Courtney Love, who's often singing about hate and anger, is a Cancer, and even Blondie was a Cancer. In the male world, it's no surprise. Cat Stevens was a Cancer, or is a Cancer, I should say. Carlos Santana and Chris Christopherson. These are all men that really wrote songs that kind of like pulled us in emotionally, right? So when a singer-songwriter feels the music, we actually feel the singer-songwriter. I believe the same is true with visual arts and photography. I believe that when a photographer is feeling a certain moment and their finger just knows to pull the shutter, there's something magical in that moment that we feel in that moment what the photographer was feeling. The same is true with a painter. I think the whole idea of the Mona Lisa is what the hell was Da Vinci feeling? We can all tell that Mona Lisa is feeling some sort of interesting smirk, like an I know something you don't know kind of thing. And of course, where am I getting all this? I believe I'm getting it because there is emotion emoting from that artwork. Whatever Da Vinci was feeling when he was inspired to paint that work is what we're feeling when we observe hundreds of years later. So what you feel is what you reveal. This is why it's so important to know how you feel in every moment. The law of attraction is powered by our heart, and it is amplified by our feelings. It's literally like we put out emotional ions that seek similar emotional ions. And as you know, emotion adds the color, the tone, and the depth of our experience as humans. The more people that feel emotionally connected to the product or service or person, the more they will respond. The more they feel that connection, the more they will want to share that connection with friends. The more they share that connection with friends, the more it turns into sales. Therefore, emotion is directly related to abundance. Many of my clients in personal readings will ask the question about money or abundance. And I look at their chart, and they look to be totally powerful when it comes to manifestation, but something with the emotion aspect is not working. And I quite often spend much of the reading talking them back into their emotions. They may just be cut off emotionally because they had a horrible childhood, so they just live way behind an emotional wall. They may have no emotional boundaries and be spewing emotional everywhere, and so never concentrates into a focused manifestation that leads to abundance. Or they may just be living totally in the air intellectual and have not given their emotions really much thought, kind of kept them by the wayside their whole life, and therefore their product or service is a brilliant idea, but there's no emotion coming off of that product or service, so it's not catching on. The reason why Donald Trump can get so many followers when he can barely put a sentence together is due to the power of emotion. In fact, looking at his chart, his moon is in the high degrees of Sagittarius. That literally means he feels the people and he feels the culture. And by feeling the people and culture, he knows exactly what emotions to emote to satisfy that emotional crowd. Therefore, people don't care what he says. They feel him. People don't care that he goes back on his word. They feel him. Emotion literally trumps facts and also logic. Emotion trumps everything. And ironically, Trump has his finger on that button. Now, one thing the 11 Steps to Serious Joy has taught me is anyone who is born at step 20 or above, first of all, is a master. That's the first thing to know. Those are the master degrees, the souls that have been at that particular sign lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, and now they're ready to do something interesting and compelling with that particular power. But you'll notice every master degree begins with step 2, I feel. So masters are all about how they feel about this and how they feel about that. And because they're how they feel, they connect to many people, they become supported, and they eventually manifest. In fact, the master degrees, step 20 on, tend to be late bloomers, and they're late bloomers because it takes them a long time to really get in control of their own feelings. But once they do, they manifest and law of attract. Therefore, a master is always one with their feelings. They're always aware of how they are feeling, and they're always aware of how their feelings are painting their current reality, which is drawing in the next scene or item or miracle that they wish to law of attract. A master is aware of the vibration that they are broadcasting to the world, and that means they are aware of the vibration and how they are feeling within themselves. Today, step 22 rules the day, so today is the most powerful day where what you feel will attract another emotional ion that feels the same way, whether that feeling is inside of you or outside of you. So it begs the question, what emotional colors are you painting today? Fear, anxiety, apprehension? Or are you painting with peace, love, and enthusiasm? Today on this Step 22 day, you are painting with the most powerful colors of the given month. And you're probably often aware of what you have been attracting, but today, as you notice what you're attracting, also take notice to what you are feeling. What are you painting with? What are you emoting at this moment that attracts that experience? Everything in your reality is a mirrored version of your heart and what you're feeling, especially today. And I believe that today's feelings are meant to direct you to where you're going, how you're feeling, and how you're innovating. But you might have to bump into a feeling that you don't like to realize that you have to change the color of which you are painting with your emotions. All right, my friend, I hope this helps you on your Step 22 day. Always a pleasure to have some tea with you. Don't forget, we have an awesome club on the internet, on Facebook. If you'd like to be a part of our Facebook club, you can post your own things. We all comment on each other and share our own work. That is at namastetoday.club. Well, I will see you tomorrow. Until then, remember I love you, and live, love, be.